Welcome back to the club, unconformed. Man, Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest. I will have to say, I was not expecting this result at all. You know me, and if you've been following this channel, I was expecting Liverpool to go on a run here. Just from the based off of the last three games that we've played under Arne Slot, things just looked like they were going the right direction, and these players look revitalized. They looked happy, and they looked up for it and ready to go on a nice long run. And that's what I predicted. And I was wrong. Nottingham Forest get the 1-0 victory after 55 years at Anfield. And there's a lot to really unpack. There's a lot to really break down surrounding this game of what went wrong, who's to blame here, and we'll go over all of that kind of stuff. But this one is one that I think Arne Slot will learn from. I think he's going to understand that this is not the Eredivisie, right? There are top class managers week in, week out that he's going to have to tactically outthink every single week. And I think the comparison with Klopp here is that if Klopp couldn't outthink you, he would outpassion you. He would out spirit you. He'd have that verve to be able to roar his team on when maybe tactically things aren't going our way. That low block pops up again and is a problem for us again, right? And the way that Klopp would get around it is that he would G his guys up and he would will results, right? There would be a will of results. That would happen a lot of times. That's when those 90th minute equalizers and winners, or 80th minute equalizers and winners. I mean, last season, I think the stat was that we scored a majority of our goals past the 70th minute. Klopp had that air to him. And we were having a conversation in the comments, I think maybe a video or two ago, where that's going to be, I think, the sticking point for Arne Slot is that can he be a fantastic man manager when the cards are down, the chips are stacked against him, and his back is against the wall. Liverpool are 1-0 down or 2-0 down. Can he roar his team back into the game beyond the tactical side? Because I think he is a great tactical manager. But the only worry, and we were saying this in the comments, is that does he have the it factor, I guess, that you're looking for with Klopp? That remains to be seen. Today is not a good result for him. And like I mentioned before, he has to learn from this, and I think he will learn from this. The one thing that I think he probably could have changed right off the bat was putting Chiesa on the bench. Fede Chiesa should have played in this game, and I think he would have gave us something different in attack versus bringing on Gakpo, Tsimikas, and Bradley, who essentially are, very attacking players. In Tsimikas and Bradley were relegated to be playing center back alongside VVD in a three-man back. He got it wrong here, and he was out-coached by Nuno Espírito. He was out-coached today, and I will be very, very honest there. Some things I've seen in the first half. We were doing well in the beginning to overflow that middle area and leave wingers open to attack. And that's where Diaz got a lot of his chances early on. And Trent was dropping into almost like a 6 role, sitting in front of the back three of Konate, VVD, and Robertson. And it looked good. And then it wasn't working, right? We were knocking on the door, and it kind of started to break down. And I think some of the play was a little frantic in the first 25 to 30 minutes. And it felt like they ran out of ideas really fast. And that's a little alarming, right? The play was very, very sloppy. And you can tell it's been a couple weeks since these boys have played with each other in this style of play. And I think probably one of the worst things that maybe has happened to this Slot side so far, and I know it's been a pretty short history, is that international break. Everybody played well on the international break, but I think having them all together again, continuing to learn this new style of play and gelling would have been much more beneficial than having that international break in the middle of the new season. And I don't care who you are in terms of fan or supporters. You guys know that international break, smack dab, 3 weeks into the season is so dumb, right? I think that played a part into this. Every single pass into the final third was either overthought, overmeasured, or overhit. Everything was over. And with Salah, everything was under. Either the touch was too light, the layoff was too light, the hit was hit too softly, and the decision was made too late for Mo. And that is not normal for him, right? As we all know that. I don't think there's anything really to kind of be worried about if you're a Liverpool fan, though. I know I'm going on and on about a lot of the things that we kind of seen today, and you guys have eyes, you guys saw that. But let's give credit to Nottingham Forest for beautifully and masterfully executing a game plan to stifle this Arne Slot Liverpool team. He didn't allow us to put passes together. They made sure that they were that they mastered the dark arts. A lot of smart fouls by them, and a lot of well-timed going to the ground by them. We committed 15 fouls today. 15 fouls. And I think that's intentional. I think Nuno knows that Slot loves to play a rhythmic game, right? Where we can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 passes together. I don't think there was even a single sequence where we put together more than 5 passes. And I think that was all by design by Nuno. And I think he did a phenomenal job. He put the right players in the beginning of the game, stifled Liverpool, got us very frustrated, and then put Elanga and Hudson-Odoi in to try to steal a victory at the end. Right when our players get tired, right when our players are at the peak of frustration, right when we overcommit. And it was perfectly executed, perfectly timed, and it went exactly how I'm sure he envisioned. Hudson-Odoi 1v1. It was supposed to be against Trent. I think that's what they were assuming. Ended up being Connor Bradley, literally coming in completely cold, right? Against a dangerous winger. Was taken on the inside. Used Konate as a shield. Curled it into the bottom left-hand corner. Beautifully taken goal, I may add. I can't say anything against that goal. That thing curled and curled and curled. And it was a tough shot for Allison to see. And then once seen, stop. Massive credit to Nottingham Forest. They got that result. So you have to start thinking, is this the blueprint on how to beat an Arne Slot side? I hope not. I hope we can figure out this whole low block situation, which has been our arch nemesis for a long, long time. And we tried to solve it in a myriad of ways. Bringing in Thiago, bringing in Szoboszlai, inverting Trent, right? A lot of these players that we thought would be able to unlock defenses from deep. We just have had a tough time. And you know what I think the solution is? I think the solution has to be we find a bona fide forward that can get up in the air, take the ball down, create something from nothing, finish chances. I think that is the main thing that is missing from this Liverpool side. Jota, which I don't see a lot of people talking about, was dreadful today. He disappeared from this game from large parts of it. And then when he did pop up, again, similar to Salah, was making very bad decisions. Darwin Núñez came on and was non-existent. He made one really good tackle in the final third, which I believe led to a chance. But in those situations, I'm looking at players like Erling Haaland. And I know there isn't very many phenomenal strikers in the world right now. Let's be very, very honest. It's not been a great age for strikers, for forwards, in terms of, you look back at some of our even recent history with Luis Suarez, Daniel Sturridge, Fernando Torres, right? Even Mo Salah, if you really want to kind of put it into perspective there. Mane, I mean, even Bobby Firmino is scoring at a better clip than a lot of these, the forwards that we have right now, including Jota, including Núñez, right? And even the forwards in the league overall. And that's why you look at Haaland, and that's why he's such a massive standout, I think, because there just isn't very many players like him. Before we would have 5, 10, 12 of those type of forwards across the big leagues that we could look at and be like, ooh, he's good, but ooh, Madrid's got him, or Barcelona's got him, or Milan has him, or Bayern Munich has it, right? Right now, the only elite forwards that we have are Haaland and Harry Kane. If you can even continue to put Kane in that category after this season, because I think it will start to catch up to him. But who knows? His style of play will age well, probably. But I think the difference between a Liverpool side and a Manchester City side is the depth. Phil Foden and Rodri have played 87 minutes this season combined, and they're still undefeated, and they still don't look like they're going to probably lose for a long time. Why? Because they have an absolute monster in a machine in Haaland that all they have to do is get the ball to him, and he's going to put it in the back of the net. Regardless if they're playing a low block, it doesn't matter what type of tactics you run, they always have that as a failsafe. We have all the pieces to match Man City, except for that. And a lot of people won't bring that up, and that's why I love running this channel. Is a lot of people aren't going to bring up the fact that Liverpool aren't phenomenal at converting chances. We score a lot of goals, but we also have to create a lot of chances to score a lot of goals. If you saw at some of the statistics last season, when you're an elite team and the margins are that fine, you can't play like that. A lot of people are going to bring up how Mo Salah didn't play very well today. Everything was kind of off and on, similar to how I did. But I think the main issue with this Arne Slot side is that they don't have a bona fide finisher that can get into dangerous areas and put the ball into the back of the net. I'm hoping that that's Darwin Núñez moving forward, but I think he needs more consistent game time, and he needs to start games if we want that to happen. I don't think he's an off-the-bench type of player. I don't. He hasn't made a single impact coming off the bench like that. I think Jota actually is a better impact sub than Darwin Núñez is. And I hope we can see that change made. I hope we can see Chiesa get involved next week, because I think he needs to. I think there's a little bit more energy and verb that needs to happen throughout this side. Sabasai didn't play well today. Ryan played decent. Maka had a decent game, but was taken off early. I don't know. I don't even know who you would make the man of the match for Liverpool, but the man of the match for Nottingham Forest is Nuno. The coaching. But you pick a player, it has to be Hudson-Odoi. Phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. Coming off the bench, making an impact, scoring the winner. But Nuno is the star man in this one today. But we move. This isn't the end of the world for a Liverpool fan, okay? I know I'm talking about a lot of the negative things that I've seen. It's kind of a part of, running a channel like this, is that you kind of have to look at things and break down and give it face value. But I think this can either kick Liverpool on and we don't lose again for a long time because Arne is a smart manager and he will make the adjustments, or the opposite happens. I think it's the first. So don't panic, Liverpool fans. Do not panic. But things have to improve if we do want to challenge for this title and not just fight for top 4. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Who was your man of the match for Liverpool? I really can't think of one. I'd say maybe Ryan was probably the best today. Trent played decent today as well. But what are your thoughts on this loss? What needs to change? What adjustments do we need to make? And don't come in the comments and say, "Oh, this is what happens when you have a poor transfer window." I'm not blaming this performance on the transfer window. The team is there. The depth is there. Okay, we brought on a plethora of players that should have and could have made an impact, and they didn't. You give me a real response in the comments. Don't bring up FSG in my comments. Don't bring up the transfer window in my comments. Tell me what you saw today in the game, and what needs to change. What tactics need to be made. Okay. We'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.